Do you know that feeling when you're single and dating that feels like you're stuck in a maze, turning corner after corner, only to hit yet another dead end of heartbreak and disappointment? I do, and I've been in that maze too, more times than I would really like to admit. But here's the thing. What if I told you that there is a way to transform that maze into a scenic route? One where you can actually enjoy the journey without constantly fearing the next wrong turn. Bear with me for a second, because imagine the possibility of turning those heartbreak detours into incredible learning experiences. You know, kind of like taking lemons and making lemonade. I believe that when we do the hard inner work in our season of singleness, the journey through the rest of singleness and dating doesn't just become bearable, it becomes beautiful. And how do I know this? Because I took what I learned and what I'm sharing with you today and applied it to my life, and spoiler alert, I ended up meeting my wife. So if you stick around to the end of this video, I promise that you'll be looking at the dating world with a fresh pair of eyes and perhaps even a new giddy sense of anticipation. You'll walk away equipped with the knowledge to successfully move through your season of singleness and journey through dating, and come out on the other side with an incredible partner and relationship. If you're new here, my name is Kyle Heidt. I'm the founder of NewHeidts, and I make these videos because I used to be stuck at life. I used to be homeless. I used to be single. Come on, somebody. And life has brought me through a beautiful journey up until now. My mission here is to share my journey and the lessons along it to hopefully impact you on your journey so that you can become the greatest version of yourself, create a life that you love, and make the impact that you are called to make. So I'm super glad that you are here. Now it's time to rethink your season of singleness and dating, because dating is the vehicle that gets you to your relationship goals. But you gotta know how to drive, and that takes some time through your learning, through your season of singleness. So if you're ready to change gears and drive smoothly into love, let's dive in. Look, I don't have a PhD in loveology, if that's even a thing, and I'm definitely not an all-knowing guru on a mountaintop with coaching programs, and this will probably be the only video where I deep dive into dating advice. But what I do have overall is a backpack filled with insights, bloopers, lessons from my own journey of being single and moving through the dating scene that led me to my amazing wife. So in today's Heart to Heart, we're gonna unpack two game-changing phases. We have pre-dating and dating. Let's unravel how to truly vibe with your own company while also setting the stage for some fireworks with someone special. And hey, this isn't about just dodging those heartbreak bullets. It's about setting your course for a love story that feels just right. So phase one, a season of singleness, or pre-dating preparation is what I call it. I first want to share a process that will reshape your journey. It's called the RISE process, and we use it here at NewHeidts for everything. This method applies to all life facets and can be applied to dating and relationships too. It helps me continually grow and evolve through everything in my life. The RISE process is RISE, reach, inner, serve, and evolve. For reach, you understand your current position and then you set a clear destination. For inner, you commit to inner transformation and grow into your improved self. And to serve, you want to be a giver, you want to be a server, whether it's in a date or even a long-term relationship. And then there's evolve. With each relationship milestone, you evolve both individually and as a pair. Then you repeat this process for perpetual personal growth and spiritual evolution all over time. And you can use this process throughout life, and you will continually rise up and reach new heights. I heard that what we face today as a society isn't a relationship problem, but a singleness problem. And I agree with that statement 100%. We take no time or very little time to prepare in our season of singleness. And society mistakenly views singleness as some sort of deficiency, leading many to seek fulfillment from external sources. This is a lie. And this lie results in you giving second interviews to those who might not be qualified to be your life partner or qualified to even have a relationship with you. And when we give these second or third interviews and eventually get into an unhealthy relationship, we usually find ourselves right back to where we started, in pain and emotionally hurt.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
This is why preparation is key. Preparation shapes you into a whole individual, bringing yourself as a complete human being to that dream relationship that you have. And for my guys watching this, I also see that women are unfairly commoditized in today's culture. Do not buy into this lie unfulfilled little boys disguised as men project into the world. They may look like a grown man on the outside, but have kept the psyche of a boy. A woman in her full essence is not just an object or a trophy. She's an embodiment of purpose with the potential to enhance and enrich everything that she touches. Anything that you bring to this kind of woman will become what it is meant to become. Her power, energy, peace, and purpose is incredible. This is the kind of woman that you should seek and you should prepare yourself for. And she is only brought to you when you are in alignment with your full masculine self. I've come to learn that the nature of life is uncertainty, and singleness presents uncertainty, well, head on. And when you accept uncertainty, your heart opens, aligning with your higher self and allowing life to unfold as it should. Peter Crone has this quote that I love that is beautifully articulated. He says that life can be challenging, but whatever the challenge is the gold, is the opportunity. We are beneficiaries of life, not victims of it. And to navigate this realm of singleness, meditation becomes your compass in this time. Meditation changed everything for me in my season of singleness. It continues to do so now as a married and committed man. Meditation opens the doorway to healing, creating, and living. And Dr. Joe Dispenza describes meditation as becoming familiar with, which unlocks a new dimension of consciousness, which is a dimension where you can become incredibly self-aware and transform and construct your life and or even a relationship of your dreams. So as you move through this season of singleness, I urge you to dedicate time to it. Treat it as a sacred phase of self-discovery and building or even a rebuilding of your temple. After I went through a breakup that crushed my world at the time, I spent just about a year dating myself, going on no dates with any girls. Then I spent another 4 years continually preparing, learning, becoming, and understanding who I wanted to be and who I did not want to be. Yet I did go on some dates here or there in those 4 years. I committed those feelings of who I wanted to become to memory. I then built a new version of myself. I dedicated 5 years of preparation and self-growth, all for my wife now. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Take the time in your season of singleness and you'll walk away better in all aspects of your life. And your mental health and your emotional health will thank you too. This season of singleness is a pivotal life season and most important season you go and grow through. You're only accountable for really one thing, yourself. And worthiness is something under the distorted reality of illusion that you have to earn. You are worthy. And if you move through this season of singleness with purpose, you begin to recognize your innate worth and align yourself with your higher self, preparing for the opportunities life will bring you, because that's what life does. It brings you opportunities. You don't find them. So with all that being said, what can you do to navigate the season of singleness successfully? I'll share with you what I did and what I learned through my season of singleness so that you can become a greater version of yourself and so that you can win. Singleness allows you to get in alignment with your higher self. Make space and prepare for the opportunities that flow into your life that match your alignment. Making space usually means letting go of old things, habits, friends, situations. It takes a lot of time to become aware of these things in order to remove them, realign, and then make space for these new things life wants to bring you. Because remember, life brings you opportunities, and opportunities, they always match preparation. This is why you prepare and make space. The way I began to do this more and more was through quiet, alone time and meditation and through long walks in the desert. I spent 5 years doing this. Wasn't in the desert for 5 years, but I spent 5 years preparing and doing meditation to have this happen. I would have conversations with myself, pray, and see what answers began to flow, because all of the answers that I had were actually within me. Now here's another thing. Singleness doesn't mean being alone. You have to get into a community. I did my absolute best to surround myself in community. Whether that was with friends or purpose-driven groups, I walked through this season with people because getting into a community made everything much better. It makes the journey much more rewarding as well because it helps you stay solid and in alignment as your community will hold you accountable for the person who you are striving to become. The next thing singleness that I learned is singleness helps you get a vision for your life. A season of singleness can give you a fresh new vision because if you don't create a positive and clear vision for your life and for your future relationship, your mind will default to one based on past traumas and survival instincts. This can trap you in a cycle of fearing a future that hasn't even occurred yet. And once you create this vision, strive towards it day by day. I also got clear in my season of singleness of what I wanted this next phase of my life to look like and what the relationship I desired to have looked like as well. I walked away with a clear vision and goals for these. I had a clear picture of the type of woman I wanted. My wife now looks just like this picture I had on my Pinterest board, and it is actually kind of crazy. I also now live the life I envisioned years ago as an entrepreneur. One thing I want to make clear on your vision is what is a goal? The goal is the result or achievement toward which effort is directed aim. If you don't have aim, you cannot have a goal. If you have a casual goal, you will get casual results. If you have a specific goal, you will get specific results. If you don't have a vision or a standards before you get into the relationship will create the vision and the standards to which then you live by those. This is all part of the preparation because singleness isn't a waiting room, it is a workshop. One of the biggest things I learned in my season of singleness as well is that singleness gives you these few things: place, purpose, provision, identity, and parameters. I learned this through an incredible series from Pastor Michael Todd from Transformation Church. It is something I must share now because looking back at it, it all makes so much sense. God will give you all these things in your season of singleness before a person is brought to you. The first thing he will give you is a place. If you find yourself in a place where you are uncomfortable, it's for your own growth. Sometimes you have to sit in a place that you are uncomfortable in. If you leave it, life will bring you right back to it until you learn the lesson that life is trying to teach you and trying to gift you with. Know that this place of uncomfort is meant to shape you, polish you, build you, and help you grow into whom you are supposed to become. Think of it as an acorn being planted in new dirt. For my own story, I finally listened to God back in 2019 to move to Las Vegas, Nevada after 3 years of feeling the pull towards this place. I had no clue why he wanted me here. That first year being in Vegas was the year 2020. We all know how 2020 went. I spent a lot of time alone and I was super uncomfortable. But I was planted in a new place and I had to allow the dirt to do its work. God gave me a place. The next thing he gave me was purpose. Through your season of singleness, opportunities sprout that give you a chance to live out your God-given purpose. You'll know it's part of your purpose when these opportunities fuel you with energy, life, and challenge. The challenge will be so great that you'll realize that you cannot achieve it on your own. It becomes a new vision for your life because purpose isn't singular, it's multi-dimensional. For my purpose story, opportunities began to flow into my life as I just moved to Las Vegas, helping more and more people grow their businesses and become a greater versions of themselves, all to make their impact on the world. I began to see a new vision for my life. It was a vision I could not achieve by my own doing. He told me I was brought here to Vegas to shine. You are put here to shine and to help people. God gave me this purpose. The next thing God gave me was provision. Through your new place and new purpose, life will present you challenges to only which you can move forward by faith, believing everything will work out as it is intended to. God will provide the resources that will help you get there. You just have to keep showing up and doing the work. In my own story, in 2020, I started with a new job when I got to Las Vegas, only to be let go 28 days later to the company because they had to lay off 20 or 30 people because of that was happening. I just signed a year lease and I bought a new car. I didn't know what would happen next. But I eventually landed a client here and a client there that helped me keep my food, keep my car, eat food, keep my place where I was renting, and of course, survive. Eventually, more opportunities came and kept me growing. It didn't all happen at once, but it built my faith step by step. From that, God gave me a provision to keep going forward. The next thing God gave me in my season of singleness was identity. In your new place and purpose, you will find true identity. You begin to become more and more aware, and you also begin to leave the old version of you or the old ways of a child that need to be left behind. You become greater. So many people are standing outside of their promises and waiting for their person when God wants to give you your true identity and purpose before that person is there. That's why singleness is so key. I stepped into my new place and purpose as God continued to provide for me along the way. He gave me the space and the opportunity to reinvent myself to see who I can become. He planted me in new dirt. Just as an acorn must transform on the inside before it breaks through the shell, I had to sit in the dirt and transform inside. A new identity would form from within that. An identity that was wrapped in God and that only that He can help me build and live out. God gave me an identity. The next thing God gave me and finally in my season of singleness was parameters. God will give you everything that we just discussed, and then He will give you parameters in order for you to take root, grow, and allow your vision to become real. An oak tree doesn't become an oak tree until what? It is planted. It is planted in the parameters of your garden in order for it to grow. And as you grow within these parameters, you come to learn that your previous definition of freedom was actually preventing you from having these amazing things flow and stay into your life. You begin to experience a shift of prioritizing your responsibilities in the parameters over chasing this, illusion of freedom that you have. I used to have an extreme case of escapism, meaning that when things got tough, I wanted to leave and I wanted to travel. I even convinced myself that it was called the travel bug. I believe that if things were tough, that I guess it really wasn't meant to be. Maybe you know that too. But in reality, the pain and the uncomfortable situations are the signal. They are doing the work on you. 2020 and 2021 was tough for everyone. I was in an uncomfortable spot, and being single, I was uncomfortable just that. I was even about to give into my escapism and leave Vegas again and go on a 12-month trip around the world. But God gave me those parameters. I was to stay planted in Las Vegas, stay away from the nightlife scene here because they can suck you in. And I was also called to continually building new heights, trusting God along the way. Now I want to make sure you're clear with this. God gives you all of these, and He gave me all of these first before He brought me a person. Now here's the last thing that absolutely changed my worldview. It's about becoming the right person, not about finding the right person. You must become the person you're looking for is looking for. This realization was a wake-up call for me. It was one of those aha moments. And for a long time, I was on this relentless quest for a serious relationship. I envisioned a wife, a future family, and a life built on partnership and commitment. However, the woman I desired to do this with was let's just say, she wasn't looking or nor probably not even interested in who I was at that time. Why? Because I was immature, and this woman was looking for a mature man. I lacked consistency while she craved stability. I was reckless with my spending, but she sought financial security. I also let my emotions control the best of me sometimes, and she needed somebody and wanted somebody who was emotionally intelligent. And also I let the bad habits that I had get the best of me sometimes, when she wanted someone who had the priorities straight. There was this glaring mismatch between who I was and who I was looking for, which led me to my long season of singleness. So I had to change. I had to evolve and become a better version of myself, version 2.0. I had to become the person who I was looking for. There's this myth out there that there's the one waiting for you to find them. The truth is, you need to become the right person first. When you do, life has a way of bringing you the right person into your orbit. So many times we find ourselves being stuck in an endless cycle of seeking. This seeking indicates resistance to where we are in the present moment. Resistance prolongs that which you resist. It's the accepting that changes everything. It is the here and now that real growth can happen. If you stop resisting, you can look internally. You can take the time to address unresolved issues from your past, whether they are rooted in childhood traumas or even your previous relationships. You can change bad habits, you can renew your mind, and you can let go of the things holding you back. Doing this internal work is crucial. It reestablishes your foundation to which you can become who you need to become. It changed everything for me, this perspective. A quote I love that really wraps all this together as well, that made sense for me is, if you attempt to build intimacy with a person before you've done the hard work of becoming a whole and healthy person, every relationship will be an attempt to complete a hole in your heart. That perspective really compounds into why you need to become a whole person. You need to work on the internal work. As I mentioned previously, the world doesn't have relationship problems. It has singleness problems. It has singleness problems because a majority of people do not do the internal hard work. I had a singleness problem in my time. I hopped from relation to relationship, seeking someone to fix this hole in my heart, which come to find out, that hole in my heart could only be fixed by me. And that hole in your heart can only be fixed by you doing the hard internal work. And one thing also I learned is that a heartbreak is not really a heartbreak. It's a reopening of the heart. This reopening brings vulnerability yet powerful healing energy if you allow it. Failing to do so can turn these unresolved issues into a black hole. This becomes a destructive force that can suck in all the aspects of your life, making you worse off than where you were before. And building intimacy before resolving these issues in relationships are essentially patchwork to emotional wounds. That is why it is critical to do the internal work, the inner work in your season of singleness. And as you do, life will continue to do what it always does. It will throw challenges your way specifically to point out where you lack freedom from and have an unresolved issue. It does this for a reason, because life craves a greater version of you. I use this in my season of singleness as an opportunity to heal and free myself from internal traumas. You really work on it for the rest of your life, but it's most important for you to do in your season of singleness. Another quote by Peter Crone that says, "Life will present you with the people and circumstances to reveal where you are not free." Where you are finding yourself becoming upset is life presenting you with a circumstance or a person to reveal an internal unhealthy attachment or trauma to which you have yet to free yourself from or heal from. If you do the inner work and heal these, you will experience a new sense of freedom that opens a whole new world for you. Now just remember, the journey of self-improvement, it never ends. If you stop growing and stop becoming, everything around you, including your relationships and even your career, will stagnate or even die. My rule is simple: grow or die. So keep evolving, keep growing, keep preparing, and keep becoming the person you are meant to become. The world craves that person. Keep becoming the person who you are looking for as your life will unfold in a more beautiful way. Now I want to talk about the magic potion in this season of singleness, which is letting go and surrendering. Drawing from David Hawkins' insight in his book, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender, which is a game changer, you should probably read it, one recognizes that true strength lies not in control, but in surrender. By releasing our need to control, we create a space infused with faith. This space is where I began to experience healing, where I found a natural rhythm where life can flow freely, delivering what was truly meant for me. Rather than expending energy attempting to control every single outcome, I focus on mastering my inner self. We are only called to control one thing, which is ourselves. And by transitioning from this mindset of control, which most of us have, and usually it's an unconscious program, to the one of surrendering, you align with God, allowing God to present you with the opportunities you seek, with the opportunities that you need to become greater. And if you trust this process, as I do, and it's definitely a big test, everything will unfold as it should. I believe that life happens for you, not to you, so embracing surrender changes everything. Now, having rebuilt the foundation and preparing in my season of singleness, it was essential that I recognized that dating was not just about the seeking. It is a journey of becoming and surrendering. And with each step, I was not just searching for a partner, but instead refining and understanding myself. And as we move forward, and as you now understand that singleness isn't a waiting room, it's a workshop, preparing and becoming. After we take this time to become greater in our season of singleness, we can then step forward into the world of dating, bringing a transformed and better version of ourselves. We can step into this next phase in this video, which I call purpose-driven dating. Purpose-driven dating is more than just a search for a romantic partner. It's a quest to build a life with someone who resonates with your values and your life goals. Each date, each conversation, and each interaction becomes an opportunity to discern whether the person that you are seeing is in sync with your mission of life. Reflecting on my own experiences in the dating world, I've learned 10 key principles that eventually contributed to my success, walking away, achieving my goal of dating, and then marrying the woman I prayed for. As you navigate your dating journey, I like to share these 10 key principles with you. These guidelines will help ensure that your dating life is not just merely a surface level pursuit filled with heartbreaks and letdowns, but it's actually a meaningful experience rich with understanding, clarity, and even a strong sense of purpose. One of the first things I had to understand through my journey of dating is that I had to understand that a date is just an event. A date is a pre-qualification meeting that happens multiple times to understand compatibility. It's not an immediate jump into a commitment, so tranquilo, relax, take the pressure off yourself. It's just an event. You now know your value and your worth, so don't be clinging because it's just an event. It's essential to view dating as a series of these events, each one bringing clarity about your potential partner. Remember, dating is the vehicle, it's not the destination. The next principle I learned is that I established something that's called the 3-month rule. 3 months is a long enough period that can begin to give you more clarity into how the person handles certain aspects of life and, of course, who they are. You get to know each other first before deepening the bond over time. This 3-month period can become invaluable in understanding compatibility and building a solid relational foundation. You discover and understand another person more and more through, dating. Do they hit your non-negotiables? Do they complement your life well? Did they pass your 3-month test? That's why it's critical to have this 3-month test so you can basically just take them through a long interview process. And the next thing I learned is that I needed to stay focused. In the words of an old saying, what the enemy cannot destroy, it will distract. I had to keep my mission and purpose at the forefront. We live in a world of unlimited distractions, unlimited swipe rights, and unlimited options. This can keep you at the surface level instead of going deep and building an incredible relationship. So if you stay focused with your vision and goal in mind, it makes a much easier path in helping you stay clear and focused on where you're striving to go. The next thing I learned in my season of dating is you need to look at history over promises. Where promises can be heartwarming, a person's past behavior is more reliable predictor of their future actions. So I had to dive deep and ask hard questions. I had to look at habits and make sure that this person has done their own preparation in their season of singleness too, as well. You do this to ensure you're not setting yourself up for disappointment and, of course, settling for less. You can get a great glimpse into this by sticking to your 3-month rule. The next thing I learned is that you needed to complement and not compete. I had to seek a partner who complemented my individuality rather than someone to fill a void. A balanced relationship thrives when both individuals can stand independently yet harmoniously work together. The goal is not to pluck a beautiful flower, but to grow alongside of it. The next thing I learned is that communicating clearly removes lots of uncertainty and unknown. As I learned, grew, and moved forward through my dating journey, communication became the paramount of success. So if you be upfront and clear and you state your intentions, because what you verbalize shapes your relationships, the words you say will change what you see. So be authentic, clear, and kind with your words. Understand that their power to craft or crumble the bond you're working on building. Understanding that concept is for really anything in life, not even just relationships. So if you speak it, you better be able to live with it. Your language dictates your reality. So remember, when you speak, your future is gonna speak back. The next thing I learned was how to navigate sex. With my growth, I had to learn how to postpone the physical element in my relationship for as long as possible. I had to hold myself to a higher standard, because jumping in too soon can cloud judgment. While attraction, of course, is vital, relying solely on physical intimacy can lead to emotional emptiness and create unintended soul ties, which is really the root of pain and so many heartbreaks. Quantum physics shows that every bond we form leaves an imprint influencing our present and future, because particles become intertwined as they bond with one another. Healing previous soul ties and moving on is critical for genuine growth and establishing a deeper sense of intimacy in the long run. This, I came to find out, is of course always the hardest test to pass, but it makes dating so much more clear if we can do it. The next thing I learned is one of the greatest pieces of wisdom I have really ever learned. It's called fire needs air. This takes a lot of self-awareness and of course relational awareness as well. Relationships, like fires, need breathing room to flourish. Constantly suffocating the other person due to our insecurities or unspoken expectations can douse the passion and connection when you're building this relationship. Being able to stand as an independent person first who has their priorities through dating allows for the space for the air to keep the fire alive in a relationship. If you put all your focus onto the person, you suffocate the fire and it dies out. Air doesn't always mean breaking up, although sometimes that may be the best first option, because it's best to break up and clear the air to see if it ignites before actually stepping into that long-term serious relationship or even marriage. Fire needs air can be applied to all things, really all things in life. The next thing I learned is that commitment shifts perspective and priorities. Transitioning from dating to commitment required another big mindset shift for me. Relationships or marriages, they don't necessarily improve your single life, they expose it. This commitment requires leaving behind certain singlehood habits. Remember, the ways of a child must be left behind. And that's what I worked on doing as I was becoming more, and that would serve my relationship even better over time. You commit to responsibilities over priorities and over your freedom. The me, that becomes we. And sacrifice isn't what you think of it when it comes to commitment in relationships. We make sacrifice sound like it's giving up, when in reality is letting go of something lesser in order for something greater to take its place. This happens through making the commitment to your partner. Your priorities shift. You must show up as a committed partner now who is willing to grow and navigate the uncertainties and the challenges of life with faith. And lastly, I had to understand the power of growth and evolution. Relationships, they are not static. It is not an end-all be-all destination. Relationships evolve, adapt, and they grow. It's essential to nurture this growth, both individually and collectively, as you seek to commit to a partner for the rest of your life. For men, it is our duty to take the lead in communication. We establish a direction that includes both of our visions for life, and we ensure that both grow and evolve as an individual and together. And if you use this rise process that I discussed throughout the rest of your relationship and your life, both will continually reach new heights. And to wrap this video up, both the singleness phase and the dating journey itself are vital components of forming the meaningful and enduring relationship that you desire to have. The season of singleness sets the foundation, encouraging you to become the person that you're looking for is looking for. This season is the invitation to do the inner work, refine your goals, clear space for someone genuine to enter your life, and become a greater version of yourself. And after you grow through your season of singleness, you can eventually step into purpose-driven dating. This journey is about navigating the path to partnership with intention and clarity. It's not just about finding the right person, but also about being the right person. When you infuse these stages to relationship building with purpose, self-awareness, and a clear vision, you not only enrich your own life, but you also create a foundation for a partnership that can thrive. So whether you're in your season of singleness right now, or you are now in your dating journey, remember you're dating with a purpose. Each phase is a crucial step towards achieving your relationship goal. For me, that was marrying an incredible woman that I could build my life with. And I hope this video can help you win and reach that goal of landing an incredible relationship. If you want some guidance on how you can continue to become the greatest version of yourself and really dive deep into that rise process, make sure you download the Rise workbook in the description below. Or you can check out some other videos here to become that greatest version of you. To sign off here, I just want to let you know that whatever you're doing, keep going forward. Do not quit. You got this. Thanks for watching. See you later.